Hey guys, it's Kemmerer, and today I'm going to be talking about my top 5 favorite romance novels. As you guys know, I don't read a whole lot of romance, like not very much at all, but I do occasionally dabble into the romance genre because I do like reading romance novels, or at least very romantically fueled novels, every once in a while. So the 5 novels on this list aren't all going to be just plain romance novels. There'll be novels with romances that I actually really love, and they are the best ones that I've read so far. Coming in at number 5, we have A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. And I know this one is not technically a romance novel. Like, technically, it's a fantasy. But if you look at it sideways, it can kind of also be a romance novel. And I love the romantic aspect of this book. There's a lot of things that happen in this book, but it is still very fueled by the relationship between Farah and Rysand. And I absolutely love their relationship, especially in this novel. In some of the other ones, I don't like it as much, but the way they grow and develop as a couple in this novel is really, really well done, and I absolutely love it. So even though this is not technically a romance novel, it does have one of my favorite romances of all time, so that's why I really enjoy this one. And while I don't necessarily enjoy the rest of the series, A Court of Mist and Fury will always be one of my favorites because of that. The next book that I have on this list is kind of along the same lines as the last one, and that's Anne of the Island by Ellen Montgomery. So Anne of the Island is my favorite book in the Anne of Green Gables series, and it is because of the romance and how it goes down in Anne of the Island. I think it's just so well done, and I absolutely love it. It's half the reason why I even like this series at all, because of the romance that happens in Anne of the Island. I just absolutely love the couple and the way the romance is done and everything like that. And while this is not technically a romance series, like this is more of like a coming of age story and things like that, the romance does play a really big part, especially in the 3rd novel in the series, Anne of the Island. And because of that, this is one of my favorite books of all time, and I absolutely love it. The next book on this list is Letters to the Lost by Brigid Kemmerer. This is the first book that I read by Brigid Kemmerer, and it is still by far my favorite book by her. I absolutely love the romance in this book. This is a YA romantic contemporary, and it's following 2 characters, Juliet and Declan. Juliet's mother recently died, and she is dealing with the grief of losing her mother, and Declan is currently doing community service because of some of the things that he did in his past that he's trying to get away from. And they meet because Juliet leaves a letter for her mother, and Declan, during his community service, is mowing the lawn of the cemetery and finds the letter, and he responds to it. So they start getting to know each other by corresponding with letters left on a cemetery, and I just absolutely love how their relationship progressed without them ever even meeting, and I just felt like it was such a great love story. It is also a really fast-paced and fun plot, and I read this one in one sitting, and then I reread it in one sitting again, and I absolutely love it. This is definitely one of my favorite YA contemporaries of all time, and it's because of the beautiful romance that happens in this one. This is also one that has a lot of deeper emotional themes involved in the story, and I really love that aspect of it as well. The next book on this list is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. This was the first book that I read by Colleen Hoover, and it completely blew me away. I did not know what to expect going into this one. I completely thought that it was just going to be your run-of-the-mill romantic contemporary novel, and it's not at all. I don't recommend reading up on it before going into this one. I feel like this is one that you have to go into not knowing what's gonna happen, because that's why I ended up really loving it. It's about a young woman named Lily who wants to open a flower shop, and she meets this young man named Ryle who is a brain surgeon, and they end up having a relationship, but there's a lot of other twists and turns in here that is crazy good, and I absolutely loved it. Also, there's definitely trigger warnings for domestic abuse and rape in here, so just know that going in, but I highly recommend not knowing too much about this book going in, because the first time around I absolutely loved it so much because of all the surprising things that happen, and it was fantastic. I really enjoyed this book. Definitely my favorite book by Colleen Hoover, and probably the only one that I would actually recommend other people read, because it is really well done, and I absolutely loved it. And my number one favorite romance novel is a classic, and that's Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. This book is so good. I absolutely loved it. I didn't know going into this book how much I would end up loving it, but the relationship between Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy is so well plotted out. I absolutely love all of like the little bickering and things that happened at the very beginning. Not really bickering, more like teasing. I absolutely love all of the characters in this book. The characters are really well developed as well, and I love the themes that Jane Austen brought into this. I can really understand where both Pride and Prejudice play a huge role in this love story, but at the same time, it's not really completely about the theme. It is very much about the relationship between Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy and all of the ups and the downs that they have, and I love every second of this book, and it is my favorite romance novel of all time. So that is all I have for you guys. If you've read any of these books, let me know down in the comments. I would love to discuss it with you guys. I post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern time, so consider subscribing. I also post bonus videos, so if you want to be notified as soon as I upload, you can click that little bell icon. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up to support my channel. All social media links are in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!